Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to ramble on about a particular question that comes up in my life from time to time at work. And that question is, how can you, somebody who has never done the drugs that I've done, tell me how to get clean off of these drugs? Who are you to tell me the path that I need to take to get my life clean? And this is a very interesting one that a lot of therapists that I've seen stumble over because really they haven't thought about the question before they get asked it. And then they don't really have an answer for it, and it's a very unsatisfying experience for a client to not get a really good answer to that question. So, recently, I saw somebody try to field that question by saying that although he hadn't had substance use history, he did have something bad happen in his life, and he saw parallels between him coping with that and people coping with addiction. And that was not a very satisfactory answer to the people that he was giving it to. And so I followed up with my answer. And I thought, might as well just broadcast this answer to the whole world because it's a good one and it's a lot better than self-disclosure. Because that is a route that you can take. You can say that, I've done the same drugs as you and I got clean and you can do it too. And that can be helpful to a few clients, but it's not really a path you want to go down, telling clients about your own life. Personally, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I've never smoked anything really in my life. No bong rips, no blunts, no meth, no anything inhaled. I haven't done any of that. I have been to hospitals where I've been given morphine and hydrocodone and did not get addicted one bit to them. I walked right out of that hospital and was clean, and didn't feel the urge to go find any substitutes for that. I'm on maintenance therapy for my thyroid and my pituitary, so I have Synthroid and testosterone as a lifetime prescription. So that would be something that I could try to relate to somebody with, say, the same problem or Suboxone or methadone, maintenance therapies. But I really wouldn't want to go there. I wouldn't want to have to divulge facts from my life in order to try to help a client if I don't have to. So I'd rather attack the logic of the question, how can you help me if you haven't done the things that I've done? First off, I would say, what kind of advice did you come here for? If you're talking to me, a therapist who deals with addiction, then you're here for advice on how to live a clean life. If you wanted somebody who has a lot of experience doing all sorts of drugs and maybe the lifestyle that goes along with it, then why aren't you talking to your drug dealer? And what kind of advice do you think you'd get from your drug dealer? Probably use more drugs. Drugs are cool. They're not addictive. They're everyone who tries to put a cramp on your life is just a loser square. Whatever you think your drug dealer would tell you, take some more drugs and forget that question. That's not the advice that I would give you. I would give you the benefits of living clean. That's what I know. Okay, what I do know is how great life is when I'm not using drugs. That's the experience that I have to give you. So, what kind of advice are you here to get? Advice that helps you stay using your drugs or advice that helps you get clean. Also, what do you think would happen to me if I were to try to learn your experience. If I were to go home and for extra credit, leaving myself clocked in so that I could get some overtime pay for it, if I just went home and banged some heroin right then, out on my weekend, and smoked some meth, what do you think would happen when I got back to work? Am I going to get a promotion? Fuck no, I'm not going to get a promotion. Because that kind of knowledge is not considered helpful. I would be suspended, possibly lose my job. If I got to keep my job, I'd be supervised over everything I did for years, because it's just common sense that that is not something that you want your therapist that deals with addicts to be doing. Okay? That's not knowledge that I need to have in order to teach people how to live a clean life. So, I could use some other analogies as well. Like, say, what kind of world would we live in if every policeman on the job had to have had in his past a felony history? In order to carry out the law, you have to have broken it a couple times. What kind of logic is that? Most police departments, they screen felons from their police academies because reasons, I could say, hey, that psychiatrist that we can send you to, would you feel better if you knew that recently he had a nervous breakdown and he had a history himself of mental issues that would help him understand from a first-person perspective the mental issues that you're going through, that are so bad that you're going to a psychiatrist? No, you probably want somebody who just knew what he was doing, who had been educated in order to help people like you. And the education factor there is a key. I've been educated in how to teach people how to live a clean life, not how to use. And questions like, how can you tell me what to do to get my life clean when you've never done these horrible things that I've done? Questions like that are trying to undermine the authority of the therapist, undermine the credibility of the therapist, undermine the whole relationship that you have, and get it down to, oh, well, I'm not going to learn anything here. I can just go back to using because you guys are useless. You're not telling me anything that I can't figure out on my own, and if you are sitting on the other side of the table from an addiction therapist, there might be something that you haven't picked up in your own experiences while you're living with that pink cloud around your head. There might be something that you haven't understood that would have led you to leading a clean life. I've got a whole bunch of knowledge in my head that I can share, and if you want to try to undermine that relationship that we have here and devalue everything that I know, then maybe you need to take a moment and think about, why are you here? Because my knowledge really comes from my experience seeing clients come into my program and then knowing which ones are headed right back to using and which ones are going to stay clean. Seeing which ones are better equipped to deal with getting freedom back. Because some of them, most programs have a horrible, horrible statistic of the night that people get out of that program, 50% of them are going to go right back to using. That's the power of drugs. Drugs work. That's why people do them. You want that feeling, drugs are going to bring it around. So my knowledge is really based on my experience dealing with people in that situation, not so much on having that experience myself, of doing that drug. My knowledge is who's going to not do the drug anymore and who is, and what can we do to change your behaviors and your mindset in order to make you one of those people who is destined to succeed. Or at least better equipped, because, relapse is a part of the process. People do falter, and I don't judge people for that. I just treat, and give of myself the knowledge that I do have on how to live clean. So that would be my answer to the question, and I hope this helps somebody who may in the future have to deal with a question like that in their own profession, no matter what it is. How can you tell me anything when you haven't had the same experiences as I have? Laters.